Vem tranquilo.
Hold on. Before you go around trying
Meu
to
homem.
collect payments, you two will have to be my witnesses, okay?
Porrada ali. Oba, e aí, beleza? Seja bem-vindo novamente. Depois daquele vídeo de Star Rail, bem no dia que ele tá sendo postado, que era quarta-feira, saiu o Fontaine. Então eu tô entrando aqui, vamos dar um rolê na missão do Arconte. Vamos ver como é que tá a paradinha por lá. Eu tô curioso pra ver como é que é a região, como é que são as coisas. Então vamos lá, vamos fazer a primeira missão do Arconte aqui hoje. E vamos ver como é que vai seguir a história de Fontaine. Eu tô querendo realmente saber como que o Tartaglia chega ali. Então vamos lá. Eu vi que tem a missão já ativa aqui do capítulo 4. Então vamos lá, nossa missão é ir pro Rivet de Caravanas e provavelmente encontrar aqui nosso caminho pra Fontaine. Então, eu vou dar um TPzinho lá e a gente já se fala. Esqueci de comentar também que provavelmente esse vídeo vai ser um vídeo um pouquinho mais longo, um pouquinho mais tranquilo. Então pode colocar de fundo aí enquanto você tá fazendo alguma coisa, só pra você dar um sonzinho de fundo aí. E vamos que vamos, eu vi que tem umas missões aqui, eu vou ver se tem alguma coisa importante. Se não tiver, a gente vai direto pra quest.
Let the magic begin.
É de graça? Ah, beleza.
Let the magic begin.
Não, não que eu vou usar, mas beleza. E outro ponto que eu queria comentar, a gente tá com 36 tiros agora. Eu não vou summonar aí quase nenhum banner da atualização 4. Porque pelo jeito o Arletino vai vir na 4.6, se tudo der certo. Então, assim como um bom homem, eu vou esperar a Arletino vir, vou tentar pegar ela, vamos juntar o máximo possível aqui. Eu acredito que até a 4.6 a gente vai juntar uma quantidade boa, então eu realmente não acho que vai ter algum problema.
Oh, caravan rebot.
Nossa, eu tinha esquecido a voz da Paimon.
What were we up to the first time we came here? Oh, Paimon remembers. Nahita's consciousness had been trapped by the doctor, but we followed the clues she left behind to help her.
Eu acho que a gente pode ter acabado aqui em algum momento antes, eu tenho
Time has
certeza.
already passed since then, and it seems Sumeru's changing for the better
Tenho
now
quase
that
certeza que a gente
Nahita's
vê
in
aqui
charge,
depois.
right? Paimon just hopes this peace will last a long time, and then Nahita won't have any more new problems to deal with.
Quer dizer... fica difícil dizer o que vai acontecer.
Guess you're right. We somehow always find ourselves right in the thick of it. Who knows what will happen next?
Na verdade, a gente só se ferra, né, mano?
Maybe it's all because of you. Maybe you're just a magnet for trouble.
Tava pensando que você ia ser um problema, então.
Me? Before Paimon ran into you, Paimon never ran into any trouble. At most, when she was super tired, Paimon got caught in some strange whirlpool and sucked out into sea. And even then, you fished Paimon out. Anyway, for Nahita's sake, maybe we should think about heading to our next destination for now.
Próxima parada, Fontaine.
Oh, it
Nossa, minha
is.
voz morreu
Running into
agora.
you in a place like this? I can see you two still love wandering around.
Oh, it's Dia! Since when are we just wandering around? We're usually taking care of some serious business.
Na
Even
verdade,
though
agora a
they have
gente não tá
nothing to
fazendo
do with
nada,
it.
mas tudo bem.
But never mind that. What brings you here?
I just finished a commission in the desert for a usual client of mine. Nothing too interesting. Just escorting a shipment of goods. I'm on my way to report back. That's when I saw you two all the way over there, chatting away. What were you two talking about anyway?
Vamos pra Fontaine, fia.
Huh?
E...
You serious?
Ih, já
Can't say I
tem
saw
ouvido
that
aqui, já.
coming. But you are travelers after all. I guess you'd never stay for too long in one place.
E não precisa
Bumping
ficar com
into you
saudade
like
não,
this
que
will
nós
become a
volta. Fica de
rarity.
boa.
I'm starting to feel sad just thinking about it.
Fica de boa que nós
How
volta.
about I gather a few mercs to escort you to? What do you say?
Thanks, but no need. Oh, Paimon had no clue you'd miss us so much.
Eu sei que a gente vai
Don't worry,
precisar
we'll
em
come
tipo
back
uns
to
20
see
minutos.
everyone
A
when we
gente vai
get a
precisar,
chance.
certeza.
Sounds good. All you need to do to get to Fontaine is cross this stretch of desert and navigate some waterways. Knowing you two, I'm sure it won't be anything you can't handle.
Nossa, tão pertinho assim?
So, when are you leaving?
Assim que terminar uma
Oh,
preparação.
wait a sec.
Eu sei que preparação?
I just
Não,
remembered there are
mas...
still a few dishes in Sumeru that Paimon hasn't tried yet. Now, where's that list Paimon made?
A minha reação foi exatamente... Foi exatamente essa a minha reação. Ô, malucão de ouvido aí, chega aí, mano. Fala com nós aqui. Dá o papo.
I
Qual que é
see.
a moral?
Guess you won't be needing a going away party or anything. It's sad enough to see you go like this.
Por que ela vai ficar com
Though,
tanta
now
saudade,
that I
mano?
think
Que
about
isso?
it, Sumeru wouldn't be what it is today without you. Seems true heroes always prefer leaving quietly.
By the
Caraca,
way,
mano.
should we go say bye to Nahida?
Ah, ela vai saber.
Oh, good point.
Não, mas pelo menos fala pra ela, né? Pô, meio rude.
Then I guess this is goodbye for now, Traveler and Paimon. Whether as a client or a friend, you're always welcome to come find me.
Até a próxima.
Goodbye, dear. Bye-bye, Sumeru.
Daqui pra frente é só pra trás, com certeza. Vai ser só ladeira abaixo. Não tem mais paz igual foi Mondstadt, que foi só um dragão. Tamo chegando, hein? Tamo a caminho já. Vixe, mas tá meio feio, né? O lugar, não sei. Ah, ó. A gente vai se jogar na água? Bora? Bora nadando a pé? Ah, calma aí. Alienação das fontes de água. É, como é que a gente... Tava brincando da gente descer a pé. A gente vai fazer isso mesmo? É, calma aí. Mas é... Ah, é curtinho, mano. Ah, tem um quebra-mares também. Nossa, é um corredor de água que a gente vai passar por Fontaine. Nossa, é bem pequenininho mesmo, né? Agora que eles expandam também, porque a nação é muito curtinha, mano. Ah, um baú normal. Ah, mas tudo bem.
No, my soul. Let me weave you a verse. Fire it up.
Esse time é muito bom, cara. Esse time é muito bom. Caraca, você que o celular tá tancando isso aqui, mano. Eu respeito muito, filho. Aí o tamanho desse lugar. Oxi. E aí, mano? Ah, tá. Ixi, mano, me perdi completo.
After crossing all that sand and water, we finally made it. Oh, this must be Fontaine's port. Wow. Everything looks so advanced in Fontaine. Paimon's heard that the industry here is extremely developed, and there are all kinds of unusual machines.
É, mais ou menos isso.
Just seeing the sights as a tourist is nice, but maybe it would be better if we found something to do.
Ah, a gente vai achar em uns 20 minutos, eu te garanto isso.
Good idea! Nahida gave us loads of useful information. Seeking out the Seven is probably still our best source for information at this point.
É que a Nahida também, até agora, foi a melhor arconte, né? Vamos ser sinceros. E também para descobrirmos a verdade,
The more we
perfeito.
can learn, the better. So, what do you think the Hydro Archon's like? Will we get along? Nahida said that she has a very unique personality, whatever that means.
Ah, não, é coisa boa. Isso eu tenho certeza.
To learn about a nation's god, start with the nation's people. There seems to be some locals talking over there. Let's go see if we can join the party.
É bom que a gente só se enfia na conversa dos outros, né? Eu acho isso incrível.
If you ask me, it's a tragedy how things ended for him. Clearly, he was a pretty decent person.
Yeah, I didn't expect that kind of ending for him.
I thought he would at least fight on a little longer for his family. I was expecting a sudden plot twist, but it's a pity that it never happened. Still, his story is quite the tearjerker.
Caraca, mano, todo mundo depressivo conversando? Que isso, família?
Excuse me. Can I help you too? I couldn't help but notice you standing here listening.
Hi. We're travelers, new
O
to
porto tá
Fontaine.
vazio, só tem a
And
gente
we have
olhando,
something
mano.
we wanted to ask, but you seem to be really busy talking about some kind of play, so we didn't want to interrupt.
Play? Oh, no. We're talking about something that really happened. In fact, it's a case that was just heard a few days ago.
Really?
Caso... Ah, é um julgamento,
Real
tá.
trial?
Então é aquilo que apareceu no trailer mesmo, mano. Eles consideram o trailer como uma peça. Trailer não, o julgamento, né?
Well, good tales are often based on true stories, aren't they? And what you see in reality may also be someone deliberately putting on an act while harboring ulterior motives. Whether something is true or not simply isn't that important. The main thing is whether the story being acted out on the stage is splendid enough. Oh, but it looks like you're not from around here. You probably don't know that the Fontaine Court of Justice is called the Opera Epiclese, or more commonly known as just the Opera House.
Casa da Ópera. É, um tipo de ópera, é. O trailer explicou isso pra nós.
Shouldn't court cases be treated a little more seriously than that? Not to question Fontaine's way of doing things. It's just that putting someone on trial is usually a very serious thing.
Agora que eu vi o cartazinho do Lini aqui.
No worries. Other visitors to Fontaine have wondered the same thing. You could say that we just don't want to waste the moving stories behind those cases.
É
As
justo.
for your
Até que
worries
faz
about
sentido.
whether the cases are treated with due reverence, we have the absolutely just and honorable Chief Justice Neuvillette,
Duvilete.
as well as the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal, a machine created by the Archon. Between the machine
Ah, não vou
and
conseguir
the Chief
pronunciar nenhum nome
Justice,
dessa nação.
false charges and
Eu já
injustice
tô
are a
vendo.
thing of the past now.
Essa é a nação da justiça.
Is it some kind of machine too? Oh, Paimon's curious. We should check it out if we get the chance.
É, deve ser uma daquelas coisas que você só vai ver quando não tiver mais volta.
Wait, Paimon almost forgot to ask you our question. Do you know what we should do if we want to meet the Hydro Archon?
Oh, that's easy. Just go to the Opera House. Lady Farina practically lives there. You could definitely say it's her biggest passion.
Não era Vocalor, Fossalor, não sei pronunciar o nome. Não era esse o nome dela?
Huh. I think what they mean is that they wish to speak with the Archon personally.
Isso.
In that case, I am afraid it's going to be a tad more difficult. You'll have to make an appointment well in advance, and it'll depend on whether or not she has any time slots available.
Marcar um horário?
Is the Hydro Archon super busy taking care of official stuff? Wait, didn't you say that she's always at the Opera House?
Eu acho que ela só não tá muito afim de ver gente todo dia, não.
No. Lady Farina seldom takes an interest with the nation's affairs. The reason it's difficult to make an appointment is simply because she's incredibly popular.
That's right. After all,
É,
she
essa não,
is the
essa eu
Archon.
esperava.
Though she may tend to get a little dramatic from time to time, people can't get enough of her.
Huh. First time Paimon's ever heard of an Archon being described that way before.
Parece que ninguém respeita ela como arconte de verdade, mano.
The Hydro Archon is kinda like a big celebrity here, right?
Yeah, I suppose you could say that. Perhaps you could even say our mascot.
Ah, não, aí é desrespeito, calma aí.
Hang on. This is still Fontaine's Archon you're talking about. You should show some more respect.
Oh, pelo amor de
Yes,
Deus,
you're
irmão.
right. I guess I should at least try to be a little more respectful in front of visitors. Otherwise, I might get arrested and find myself face to face with Monsieur Neuvillette.
Come on. Sure, there's a lot of laws here, but nobody's going to be arrested for saying something disrespectful about the Hydro Archon.
É isso que eu ia pensar. Eles gostam, mas eles não respeitam
I
ela.
think we get it. Thank you.
É isso que é meu
At
ponto.
least we now know that we can find the Hydro Archon at the Opera House. But who knows how long making an appointment will take? Guess we could have a look around the city in the meantime. Hey, what are you looking over there for?
Tá parada sozinha há um bom tempo? Tem?
Huh.
Ah,
Maybe something's the matter.
quem será?
She isn't going to jump into the water, is she?
Como assim? É um problema ela entrar na água? Entendi.
Maybe we better go check on her.
Prelúdio do orvalho branco e a maré escura. Vixi. Já tô vendo que essa quest vai ser cabeça. Fala, fia, bom dia.
Hello there. Excuse me. Are you alright?
Huh? Ah, I'm fine. Thanks.
Oh, okay then.
Beleza.
We just noticed that you seem to be worried about something.
About many things, actually. But there's nothing I can do but just keep my troubles to myself. I was just reminiscing about a place my brother and I would play when we were kids. It was just atop that hill over there. See?
You're pointing at the sea. Wait, are you saying that you and your brother lived in the water?
Talvez ela seja uma sereia.
No people call the waters around Fontaine a sea. It's actually just an inland lake that's filled with fresh water. And no, I can still see that hill clearly in my memories. Now, it's been completely submerged.
É verdade, a água tá
We would
subindo,
skip
não tá?
and jump, tossing sand in the wind.
Se eu não me engano era algo assim. Tava
The
rolando
sun
aqui.
shone brightly, and the air was filled with the scent of the sea. But now, the water is gradually swallowing our memories. It won't be long before it swallows us.
Sorry. Paimon doesn't really get what you mean.
Cara, de repente tá falando em código, mano.
I don't believe we've had the pleasure of meeting. Are you Lynette's new friends?
Oh,
Olha ali.
you are?
Thanks for looking after my sister. She often comes here to reminisce about our childhood, that's all. Allow me to introduce myself.
Aline.
I'm Linny, and this is my sister Lynette. If I had to guess, I'd say you must be travelers from abroad.
É, todo mundo meio que sabe, então foi um bom chute.
Traveler. We just arrived in Fontaine. We were just talking with your sister. Even though we didn't really get what she was saying.
Então, não precisa desrespeitar ela na cara dela também, né? Mas beleza.
I see. It's unusual for Lynette to be so willing to talk with anyone. In fact, she seldom speaks at all. I'm usually the only one she ever talks to.
Cara, ela só não gosta de gente, pô, normal.
Then you two are just like us. Paimon's always the one talking for some reason.
Eu nem tenho o que falar, você não cala a
So
boca.
that's how you think it is?
I also think my brother can be too talkative at times.
Seems you were right, Paimon. We are quite similar.
So, what does
Esses
all
dois
that
juntos não
mean
vai
just
prestar,
now when
mano,
she
já tô
said
até
that
vendo.
The water is engulfing your memories, and that it won't be long before it engulfs you too.
Oh, that. It's from a prophecy that's been circulating in Fontaine for some time now. Well, I suppose prophecy isn't exactly the right word, because that implies a certain amount of uncertainty. There's no doubt about what's happening in Fontaine now.
Ah, então não é nem um
Where
chute.
to begin?
É um fato, tá acontecendo agora. Beleza.
Let's put that question on hold for a moment. We still haven't formally greeted each other yet, have we?
Ah, beleza.
Did all the introductions earlier not count?
Então,
Hello, traveler.
ele deve ter algum truque, certeza. Prazer.
And hello, Paimon.
Ele tem um truque, certeza.
Paimon, get a handshake! You're not poking fun at Paimon, are you?
Please, don't take offense. Just consider it a sort of etiquette we have here in Fontaine when making new friends. You should remember it. It might prove useful.
Esse cara sabe de alguma coisa.
Oh, all right then. Well, Paimon's just happy to have a local friend now. by the way, we were just getting ready to go to the opera house to meet the Hydroarchon. Would you be able to show us the way?
So you're going to see Lady Farina? No problem at all. In fact, I was planning to go to the opera house later myself. I'll gladly take you once I finish things here. Please, follow me.
Aí, a gente sempre tem um parceiro na nação pra gente dar um rolê.
You said you were going to see Lady Farina? Well, it seems Lady Farina has come to see you.
Hã? Vixe. Não parece ser ela, mas tudo bem. Nossa, achei que ela ia ser enorme, tá descendo a escada aqui. É nada.
So, she's the Hydroarchon? But how did she know we were looking for her?
My dear people, rich and poor, those with cup in hand and those with nothing at all, raise your glasses in celebration. If you don't have one, then just raise your hand in lieu.
Não sei não, hein. Não fui muito com a cara dela, mas vamos
As you
ver.
can all see, two unfamiliar travelers have arrived in our nation. Come, let us
Ah, o olho
make a
dela é da
toast
hora,
in
mano.
honor of this traveler and his companion, who have journeyed here from distant lands.
Ixi, mano, ela sabe muito, tá? Meio assustador.
Talking about us?
Ninguém que parece estar com uma taça, então é todo mundo
I've
pobre?
long heard of the turmoil and chaos you've left in your wake as you visited other nations. But I
Não, a gente
welcome
resolveu
you
os problemas, é
nevertheless.
diferente.
No, I have come to receive you personally. Fear is for insignificant cowards. I am a god, and I will never entertain the notion of such meaningless wariness. You can be rest assured, I see clearly your sincerity. Of course, seeking an
acho que ela
audience
tá
with
metendo mau
me
louco.
is the most sensible thing to do. It will allow you to truly behold my power and witness my authority. Intelligent people always gather under the correct banner.
Eu tenho quase certeza que ela tá só metendo louco.
Focalor, hereby welcome you to the nation
Ah, é
of
isso mesmo,
Hydro,
Focalor.
and acknowledge the value and significance of your trip. Now, you may rejoice in this.
Rejubilem-se. Ah,
Yeah.
tá muito, tem alguma coisa estranha.
Believe it.
Que tá muito fácil.
We've only been here for a few minutes.
As coisas nunca são assim.
But the Hydroarchon's entrance was, how should Paimon describe it? A little over the top?
Sim, basicamente.
Miss Hydroarchon? How did you know we were coming?
I see. As Outlanders, you inevitably lack even some of the most basic understanding. Don't forget that even the gods can be divided into the mediocre and the excellent. I suppose it's only natural for you to be awestruck by my abilities. You had best stop and consider. Do you really have the noble qualities and etiquette necessary to communicate with a god?
Ah, era esse X9 aí, ó.
All it takes is a flick of my finger for me to know everything about you.
O cara tava de olho.
Talk about sounding high and mighty.
Ela sempre fica enfatizando, é.
Oh? What's with these looks? Perhaps the welcoming ceremony still isn't enough? What else should I say then?
Is she waiting for us to start talking?
Wow, I didn't expect to see Lady Farina here.
Ela,
What a
ela
surprise.
realmente tem. Ela é meio excêntrica. Isso eu não posso tirar.
Does this mean they're the legendary blonde traveler? How did I not notice before?
Nossa, a gente já tá mal
Hey,
falado.
what's all the commotion? Oh, is that Lady Farina?
A
Is there
gente já
some
tá
kind
mal
of
falado na
drama
nação e
going
nem
on?
chegou, velho. Olha que da
Of
hora.
course. That's the blonde traveler. The one all those stories are about.
Duelo? Não,
Lady
calma aí.
Farina came here to personally see him. Oh, I bet this is going to be the duel of the century.
Não, calma aí.
I've got to see this. I knew Lady Farina would never disappoint.
Yes, but don't get too excited now. My dear believers and spectators alike tend to get quite rowdy, and despite the noise, I've come to tolerate all their ruckus. You may consider this my reward to all of you.
Ela é
I
bem
have
excêntrica.
determined that there will be an epic duel between myself and this traveler from another land, just as you were hoping to see.
Não vai ter, não. Eu não concordei com nada.
To fight? Aren't we getting a little ahead of ourselves?
Ah, vem tranquila. Vem tranquila. Calma aí, calma aí. Oxe, de repente eu tô errado? Como assim? Você não queria um duelo?
Are you not afraid? Might I remind you that this is a duel against the divine?
Olha, depois da Raiden eu não tenho mais medo de lutar com ninguém, não.
What are you trying to do, traveler? Provoking a god in front of her people?
Não se mete não, fia.
Stand down, Clorend. I admire his bravery. Few have the courage to draw their sword against a god. He is obviously a true warrior. Unfortunately,
Ela tá em cima de uma
people
caixinha.
nowadays only crave to be thrilled, and a mere duel will not slake their thirst for excitement.
Oh, yeah, she's right. Just a duel wouldn't be all that interesting.
Ela tá fugindo, só que de um jeito bonito.
Irenaeus, criminals are always requesting duels to defend their honor. I'm getting a bit old, to tell the truth.
You see. Then, as the god of justice, I shall face this traveler in another
No
kind
tribunal,
of
eu não fiz
duel.
nada.
A duel in court.
Eu não fiz nada ainda, cara. Como assim?
All right.
Eu já sou culpado e não fiz nada na nação ainda. Nem derrubei nada, nem
Right.
desafiei um deus de novo. Não, eu acabei de
Such a
desafiar.
grand opera house, it would be a pity not to use it.
Why do you care so much about the crowd's reactions? Seems you've spent a little too much time in the opera house. Besides, how exactly do you plan to have a duel in court? You mean you're going to put us on trial?
A gente acabou de chegar, esse que era meu ponto.
Oh, we have reason to put you on trial. It's obvious, isn't it?
Ah, não.
According to Fontaine law, no one is permitted to release any flying objects within
Durante os
Fontaine's
3
city
de
limits
primeiros
during
dias de
the
cada
first
mês.
3 days of each month. You are clearly guilty of violating this law, no?
Oh, so that's what they've done wrong.
Eu acho que ela tá inventando isso aí. Eu acho que ela
No
inventou.
one knows the laws of Fontaine like she does.
Ela tá metendo louco, com certeza.
Is that obvious? What kind of law is that? Wait, flying object? You mean Paimon?
Eu tô exatamente como é, não tô entendendo bosta nenhuma do que tá acontecendo aqui.
Now, if you two have no objections, then in the name of the Hydro Archon, I order your arrest.
A gente já tá sendo procurado e nem fez nada
apologies,
ainda.
Lady Farina. I don't mean to spoil the fun, but if you would allow me to interject, I don't think that Paimon here meets the definition of a flying object.
Lini vindo no clutch?
You tell her, Linny. Finally, someone who's not crazy. How could anyone call Paimon a flying object?
É, teoricamente ela não é um objeto, né? Mas
Great
tudo bem.
magician Linny, my beloved citizen. I'll permit you to object, but how exactly do you plan to prove your claim?
As a magician who just rained on your parade, I naturally should shoulder the responsibility of saving the show.
O que ele tá
So,
pensando em
with
fazer?
such an audience gathered here, allow me to perform a trick for everyone.
Ah, era o negócio que ele colocou na mão, eu sabia que ele tinha alguma coisa.
Ta-da!
sabia que ele tinha alguma coisa na mão. Ele tinha alguma carta. O Lini sabe muito.
As you can all clearly see, Paimon should be classified as, well, something like a balloon. This rope has been in the traveler's hand all along. It was just that no one could see it before.
Huh? You call that magic? You've got to be joking.
Não se mete.
I thought it was pretty good.
Aí, ó, gostei de você.
Huh? I'm not sure what to think. It seems Lady Farina's charges no longer hold water.
E agora? Cadê seu Deus agora?
Amusing. Very amusing, Linny. Just the sort of unexpected twist that I enjoy. With you here, today's performance can finally
Caraca,
be
o Lini ele já sabia já.
Performance?
O cara sabe muito.
You see all this as a performance?
In which case, consider the matter of your trial resolved. The god of justice will not bring charges against an innocent person. But when there are valid grounds, I will not only judge travelers from abroad, but even the gods of other lands.
Eu acho que ela é meio maluca das ideias.
Seeing your upcoming performance at the Opera House, Mr. Linny and Miss Lynette. That's enough for now. Toodaloo!
Ixi, essa mina é completamente maluca das ideias. É pronto, cada um voltou pra sua ação do dia. Ninguém mais liga.
Like that. She's gone. Well, that's the most unpredictable Archon Paimon's ever seen. You never even had a chance to ask her anything. But that's a problem for future Paimon. That whole scene just now was really...
Ah, você adivinhou, com
Don't
certeza.
mention it. I just happened to remember that there was such a law, so I did a little preparation, just in case. I didn't think it would actually come in handy. So,
Esse moleque sabe
now
muito.
do you see what kind of god Lady Farina is?
She can be a bit confusing at times, but she is still amenable to reason.
Aquilo foi bem confuso.
Anyway, Paimon had no idea you were a magician, Linny. It sounded like you'll be performing at the Opera House, right?
Por isso que ele disse que ele ia mais tarde.
I just know a few simple tricks I use to make a living. Lynette is my assistant. It will actually be my first time performing on the most prestigious stage in Fontaine, the Opera House.
But isn't the Opera House where criminal trials are held in Fontaine?
When there
Os
are no
dois.
public trials being held, the Opera House hosts a variety of other performances.
É isso
To
mesmo.
the people of Fontaine, the line between a trial and a performance can be a little blurred. And speaking of performances, I would be remiss to forego this opportunity gifted by fate. Might I invite the two of you to see my performance?
Bora, porque
My
isso.
brother's always excited to make new friends.
Oh, sure. We don't really have anything to do now, and we wanted to go to the Opera House anyway.
Vai ser um prazer, filho.
Splendid. In that case, why don't we go together? I'll show you the way. I just have something to take care of first.
A gente tem
You
como
really
ajudar.
mean it? Then I'll take you up on your offer.
Eu gostei
This
dele,
is
mano.
a
Ele é feliz.
magical item known as a magic pocket. Perhaps you can help me distribute them to the people here.
Uma bolsa.
Huh? What are they going to use it for?
About that. You asked me before about the prophecy, right? Let me start by telling you a little more about what it entails.
Manda o papo.
I'm not sure exactly when it began, but a prophecy has been circulating around Fontaine. It says that every person in Fontaine is born with sin. No matter how the nation of justice holds trial after trial, this sin cannot be absolved. Until one day, the water levels in Fontaine will rise, and the sinful people will slowly be drowned. In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Caramba, mas que o povo fez pra isso?
Why are people in Fontaine born with sin? What is that supposed to mean?
Eu tô confuso.
There are lots of guesses. Some say that the ancestors of Fontaine stole the power of the seas and stirred its wrath. Others say that the people of Fontaine never heeded the first Hydro Archon's warnings and offended Celestia.
Isso aqui é mais plausível.
But here in Fontaine, evidence is what matters. There hasn't been concrete evidence for any of these claims, so they can only be regarded as conjecture.
If even the people in Fontaine don't know what sin they committed, wouldn't it be better just to ignore the prophecy completely? Why bother feeling guilty all
Porque ele falou que tá acontecendo agora, então provavelmente o nível do mar ainda tá
That's exactly what the
subindo.
people did at first. But in the last few years, the water levels in Fontaine have actually started rising.
Many places have already been completely submerged, and now lie beneath the sea.
Many people carry on with their lives as before and shrug it off as a natural phenomenon. But my family and I think that the people of Fontaine shouldn't ignore the possibility, which would end up sentencing them to death.
É.
We hope that at least the people
Você
who
vai
reside
morrer,
near the
não? Pelo menos
waterfront
tenta
can
fazer
move
alguma
away
coisa, né?
before it's too late. So we've started distributing magic pockets to them. As a magical item, these magic pockets have astonishing capacity. I'm sure they will come in handy when people are moving their belongings.
É um homem, é um herói.
It's like preparing for a rainy day. But this is more than a bit of rain.
Não tem como prevenir, essa que é a grande
Perhaps
questão.
only absolute power could ever contend with such a catastrophe. But who knows? We're just tiny specks in the grand scheme of things.
Acho que ele ainda vai ajudar a gente a
Now,
resolver esse
if
problema.
you'd like to help, then please give these magic pockets to anyone nearby. Be sure to convince them to take it, regardless of what they say.
Tem uma galerinha aqui já no porto, vamos dar um salve. Você é da hora.
So you're the blonde traveler that everyone's been talking about. My apologies for not recognizing you earlier.
Relaxa, fi, aqui tá em casa.
Oh, a magic pocket? Seems you really thought of everything. I guess it's better to prepare for the worst and hope for the best.
É um bom jeito de pensar.
Please, also thank the magician on my behalf when you get the chance.
Fica de boa, pai. A gente agradece ele já já.
What's this? So you also believe in the prophecy. Keep it. I won't have any use for it.
Caraca, mas o moleque é estiloso, hein?
You mean you don't believe in the prophecy?
No, I believe in the prophecy. But I also believe in another story. The story says that people once lived in the ocean. They were one with the ocean and couldn't live apart from it. But as time wore on, people desired to live on land and developed blood vessels, encapsulating the sea within their bodies. Thus could people set foot on land.
É um jeito meio estranho de ver o mundo, mas...
You ask me, when the water rises
bem.
and takes us all, it'll be like we're going home.
Oh, we hadn't heard that one before. But people can't live underwater. They'll die. You should probably still take it.
Vai, mano, pega só por desencargo de consciência, vai.
I guess I just feel that being dissolved into the water doesn't necessarily mean death.
A gente não sabe o que significa, né? Esse aqui também é uma problemática aí. Opa, bom dia.
I don't want that thing. Way I see it, if the prophecy's true, it's still gonna be a long time before the water can cover everything. Life is all about living in the moment. What use is there in worrying about the future all the time? We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
You should still take it. You never know when it'll come in handy.
É só por desencargo de consciência, mano. Pega o bagulho aí.
Oh, all right, fine. Thanks. It's just that if I start moving, that means I've already given up on the life I have now. I'd really rather not.
Não precisa ser tão dramático assim, não é tão profundo. Só pega a bolsa.
Oh, you already handed out all of the magic pockets?
Sim, senhor.
That was fast. So, what did people have to say? I bet you heard some interesting opinions.
Verdade.
Yes, but that will change once disaster strikes. I know they'll change their minds, so it's only right to help them prepare.
Is there anything else you need to do before we leave?
Yes, one last thing. I have the magic pockets made by a workshop in the court of Fontaine. Since we're out and about, I was thinking about bringing him some more materials.
A gente aproveita o caminho já.
Materials? Just tell us what the materials look like and we'll help. Many hands make light work.
Oh, that would be much appreciated. We'll need some Romaritime flowers. I remember seeing them
Rociomarinas.
near the waterfront on the east side of the harbor.
Lá vamos nós.
It seems we have to use Hydro to collect flowers.
Sempre. Por que eu não imagino isso, né? É, vou sair pegando, vai que eu preciso em algum momento.
You made quick work of that. I can tell you're an experienced traveler. I've also finished collecting a few here. Maybe next time you'll feel like helping too, Lynette.
No way. I'm in power-saving mode today. Otherwise, I fear I may not have any energy left for the performance at the Opera House.
Pelo menos ela é sincera.
Fine. Though the performance is still a long way off. Now that we're finished here, we should get ready to head back to the court of Fontaine.
So, we're going to the court of Fontaine before we head to the Opera House? Good. Paimon wants a tour of Fontaine's largest city and try...
Eles só vazaram?
Wait, shh. Have you noticed that person over there? The young girl.
Huh? What's wrong with her?
Ah, vai ser igual o X9 do... que tava em Sumero?
She's obviously a thief.
Ah, não.
Magicians and thieves practice similar methods. We divert attention, and a distracted audience is one that won't discover what you're really doing. Watch her movements carefully.
Oh, he's right.
E ela não percebeu. 4 pessoas olhando pra ela.
Shh, keep your voice down. We need to think of a way to catch her, but it seems she's very alert. Perhaps we should split up. You two can ride the lift over there and wait up top. I bet that'll be her escape route if she tries to run.
Entendido.
Alright, let's go.
Se a gente levar uma criminosa a julgamento, talvez a Força Lore possa conversar que nem gente, né? Mas eu ainda duvido um pouco, que ela é meio esquisita. Nossa, é mais fácil me jogar daqui de cima.
This is the spot where Linny wanted us to wait.
Ah lá, mau caráter.
Isn't that her?
Pilantra.
Oh no. Did she notice us? She started running the other direction. What should we do? Should we chase her? You're right. She might also be trying to lure us away.
Agora é a parte dele. Ele falou pra gente ficar aqui.
Nothing's happened for a while now. Paimon wonders if Linny caught the thief.
Ah, vou atrás dele. Nossa, a gente vai ter que descer de novo? Vou me jogar. Ah, não. Calma aí que eu tenho um plano melhor. Ah.
Are you sure that's all she took? You should check to make sure you're not missing anything else.
No, that was all. Oh, I can't thank you enough. I didn't notice a thing earlier. Anyway, I should be going now. Thanks again.
Ele pegou de volta o que ela roubou? Será?
Oh, were you returning what the thief had stolen?
Para de roubar minhas perguntas, por
That's
favor.
right. Pity I wasn't able to catch her. She distracted me by dropping the thing she stole on the ground. By the time I looked back, she was already gone.
I saw the general direction she went, but Lenny twisted his ankle, and I needed to make sure he was okay.
Justo, é justo.
Did you get hurt, Lenny?
I'll be all right. It's just a twisted ankle, that's all. In fact, it's feeling better already.
If you want to play at being a hero, at least try not to get hurt doing it. Imagine what would happen if you managed to derail our performance as a result.
Calma aí, não precisa esculachar ele, coitado.
You're right. Sorry, Lynette.
Não precisa esculachar o
I have to
coitado.
admit that the thief was even more skilled than I had anticipated. But at least we were able to get the stolen items back, so it wasn't a complete failure.
What a slippery little thief. Guess things turned out all right in the end, though. Lenny's initiative paid off.
Ah, o cara é bom, tô
Alright,
falando. O
let's
cara
put this
sabe de
little detour
muito.
behind us. We should go to the court of Fontaine now.
Não, antes da estátua. Cadê a estátua? Eita, rapaz. Caramba, o lugarzinho é longo, viu? Se você estiver nas grandes águas de Fontaine, seu caminho estará livre. Você será derrotado se estiver sem fôlego embaixo d'água, tá? Beleza. Vamos seguir pro carrinho? Não vamos não, porque tem diálogo de novo. Não vamos não.
So, we ride this thing to go into the city? What an ingenious way to get around. People in Fontaine really know how to use water.
É um trilho,
This
pô.
is an aqua bus. It allows people to travel between several key locations around Fontaine. It's
Hidrônibus.
pretty convenient, but the ride can become a little dull after a while. The scenery is always the same. That's why it's better to travel with friends.
So you mean it's still boring even when I'm riding with you?
Ih, calma aí,
No,
não é
that's
isso.
not what I meant. It's just that, well, you don't really talk that much. Besides, it doesn't really feel like a real trip when it's just the two of us. It's the same as being at home.
Whatever.
Ela também é meio difícil de lidar.
That's what it's like to be an older brother.
It's about time for us to leave. Let's get on board.
Ela é outra que é também um pouquinho complicada. Mas tudo bem. Oh, não interrompe não, mano. Na moral. Deixa a gente ir embora. Por favor, mano. Eu quero ir pra cidade faz muito tempo já. Ah, você de novo?
What? Traveler! Paimon!
Você de novo?
Oh, I never guessed I'd bump into you while riding the aqua bus. In the story of my life, this is big news. What are you doing in Fontaine? I didn't hear anything about you paying us a visit.
Ah, foi meio que na corrida.
Coincidence, but as travelers, we're always on the move. It's not surprising that nobody knew we were coming.
É, foi uma decisão instantânea aí.
We still have no idea how the Hydro Archon knew about us. Oh, let Paimon introduce you to our new friends.
Oh, no need for introductions, Paimon. I would recognize the great magician Lenny and his assistant Lynette anywhere. I wouldn't be much of a reporter if I didn't know who they were. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Charlotte, a reporter for the Steambird.
Nice to meet you. From the Steambird, huh? We've often relied on your paper to promote our performances.
It's an honor to meet you.
Ah, pelo menos tá uma conversa da hora.
Knows each other, Fontaine suddenly doesn't feel like such an unfamiliar place.
Deveria, porque a gente não conhece nada daqui.
What have you been up to lately, Charlotte? Any big news?
Not too much. When there isn't any breaking news, I mainly cover the trials at the Opera House. You can still manage to keep readers' attention as long as you tell things from a clever enough angle, even if it's the same old topics. For example, reporting on how a scammer once deceived vulnerable girls into relationships, or how a financial criminal was once so poor that they ate a single piece of bread for 5 days.
Não deve ser uma notícia que você fica satisfeita de fazer.
Right. Seems you know me pretty well. What I'm really after is exclusive, sensational news pieces that could shake the country. These smaller stories are a waste of my talents. Oh, I just remembered. I've been following a case lately. Well, a series of cases, actually.
You mean the serial disappearances of young women case?
Caso de desaparecimentos em série.
These stories are the talk of the town right now, and it's probably the most mysterious case we've ever seen. If I'm the first with a draft ready to publish when the case is finally cracked, and it's the headline story in the Steambird, oh, when that happens, I bet all the other reporters will shed tears of envy. I've already gathered all kinds of materials. I just can't wait for the truth to be revealed.
Ah, tá só camperando só.
What is the serial disappearances of young women case? You mean the culprit hasn't been found?
That's right. The first missing girl case happened almost 20 years ago.
Nossa
And
senhora.
ever since, after a period of time, another girl disappears. What the cases have in common is that the girls are all of a similar age, and that they've all vanished without a trace. But the scariest part is that to this day, none of the girls have ever been found.
Elas realmente somem, pelo jeito.
Many suspects have been arrested over the years in connection with this case, but shortly after each arrest, another disappearance would always happen.
Então deve ter mais de né?
Possible. But either way, I believe that every case has some precise truth behind it, waiting to be exposed.
Yes,
Acho
I
que você tá
agree.
muito confiante, mas
And
tudo
at the
bem.
very least, the family of those missing girls deserves some sort of explanation.
Se o Lini
Just
tá com
imagine
você, eu
for a
tô com
second
você.
What I would do if Lynette were to suddenly disappear. I'd pay any price to get her back, and then find a way to track down the culprit.
Please don't imagine that, Lenny.
Ela fala pouco, mas fala bonito.
Hey, we're almost there! Look!
Imagina o quanto que isso não deve ter demorado.
Well, I really enjoyed chatting with you. Life should be full of pleasant little surprises like this.
Eu discordo.
Yeah, us as well. The ride went by too quickly.
Ah, I have an interview to get to. I should get going before I'm late.
Okay.
Vai lá,
I
filha.
hope we can chat again soon, Charlotte. See ya!
Bye now. Oh, be sure to stop by and see me at the Steambird when you have time.
Confia, vou lá.
What a tough job. Always running around and interviewing everyone. Well, where should we go now?
If you don't mind, how about we stop by my home first? Besides, I still have all the materials we collected.
Sure, we wouldn't mind at all. This city is so huge, Paimon wouldn't know where to start anyway.
A gente tem um norte já facilita muito a vida, filha. E aqui a gente tá fora do mapa já, né? Da estátua que a gente abriu agora. Pelo menos eu imagino que sim, né? Caraca. Só tô imaginando caçar baú nesse labirinto aqui, como vai ser divertido. Let's go! Lá pra onde Lini está. Pô, eu queria dar uma olhadinha na cidade primeiro. Musiquinha padrão do mapa também tá
This is our
daorinha
current
de ouvir.
abode. Ah, Fremine, you're home. Where did everyone else go? I have some new friends that I would like to introduce.
Oh, they all just went out a moment ago.
Ixi, filho, você precisa dormir um pouco, cara.
I see. Everyone is getting busier now that Father will be returning soon. I suppose that can't be helped. Allow me to introduce you to my little brother, Fremine.
Eu já sabia que ele
He
já
is
não
a
tinha nenhuma
phenomenal
emoção,
diver.
mas...
Hello.
Caramba, você tá realmente precisando dormir, filho.
Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. Oh, you sound very proud to have a diver as a brother, Linny.
Tem muitos parentes.
Linny, could you come here for a moment?
Nossa, mano, o menino é
What is it,
destruído,
Fremen?
coitadinho.
Do you have something to tell me?
Pode ir, mano, fica de boa. Ele era o Fremen Cry?
Okay, I see.
Interessante.
Is everything all right?
Oh, it's nothing. We were just discussing a little housework. Sorry for the interruption.
Fica de boa, pai.
Before I forget,
Coisa da
the
vida isso aí.
Traveler and I collected more materials to make magic pockets. Were you able to get any, Fremine?
Yes, I went diving and gathered lots of materials. I was about to give them to you.
That's our
Essa
Fremine.
moleque,
Always quick with the underwater
moleque é só a
work.
capa da gaita,
All
coitadinha.
right, I'll take these to the workshop.
Ai, tá chovendo. O que significa? Não sei, mas tá chovendo. Correndo com a mãozinha na cabeça.
Looks like rain.
Sim.
Oh, you're right. But wasn't it clear and sunny just a moment ago? Fontaine's weather sure is weird.
I'm afraid that's just how it is here. It often rains on days where there are trials being held in the Opera House, but don't worry, it'll clear up soon enough.
Ah, vai ter um julgamento hoje, então?
What's wrong, Fremine?
There's a legend about the rain that I tend to believe. It
Manda
said
papo.
that a dragon of water once resided in Fontaine. Though we don't know where the dragon went, every time it weeps, the skies will cloud up and pour out rain. When I was a child, my mother told me that if I wanted to go outside and play, I should yell toward the sky at the top of my lungs. Hydro Dragon! Hydro Dragon! Don't cry!
Ah, então eu tava pensando nisso aí, tipo
If it's
do
an elemental dragon, then having the power to make it rain wouldn't be
dragão
very
de Mondstadt.
unusual. Let Paimon try something.
Não grita não.
Hydro Dragon, Hydro
Ah, tá.
Dragon, don't cry!
Doesn't seem to be of any use. It is just a legend after all.
You know, you might be a more popular magician if you understood the concept of romanticism. Or could have.
Sorry,
que
it
disse
might
que
be
ele achei que tinha
because
acabado o
we've
diálogo.
never met the Hydro Dragon. Perhaps it can't be comforted by the words of strangers.
Talvez. Isso faria mais sentido.
It rained for longer than I suspected. Oh, it's already getting late.
Was there something you needed to do, Linny?
Yeah, some preparations for the show at the Opera House. I need to find a way to catch the last aqua bus of the day. On the day of the performance, just ride the aqua bus to the island of Aeneas. I'll have Lynette meet you at the fountain in front of the Opera House.
A gente se vê lá.
Are you leaving now?
What is it, Fremine? I'm in a hurry. Oh, I get it. You feel nervous delivering the materials for the magic pockets, is that it? Perhaps we could trouble the Traveler to help us take these materials to the Beaumont workshop and deliver them to the owner there?
A gente já tá aqui,
I'm
mano.
afraid that
Não tem
Fremine
problema.
can be quite introverted. And the boss there tends to be pretty talkative. Fremine has always been a little afraid of her.
No trouble at all.
Deixa com o pai que a gente resolve isso aí.
Sorry for the inconvenience. I'm quite useless when it comes to such tasks. I'll think of a way to make it up to you.
Fica de boa, pai.
No need. This will be a walk in the park for us.
Isso aqui é... Todo mundo de casa, fi, fica de boa. Ah, eu não vou subir isso não. Deixa quieto, eu subi isso aí depois.
Hello? Is there anyone here?
Oh, hello there. New customers? Looking to buy, or do you need something made? Or perhaps you're just looking for a chat with me.
Ah, não é nenhum dos três.
No, we're just here to deliver some materials. Here they are. They're for making... what were they called again?
Ah, these must be for magic pockets. I could tell right away. I've already made several orders worth now.
Tem que pagar?
No need. They've already prepaid several batches worth. When they told me what they'd be using them for, I even offered them a discount. But they insisted on
Ah, achei
paying
que
the
ele ia falar
full
que o
amount,
gerente enlouqueceu.
saying that I had a business to run. It seems both their hearts and their pockets are made of gold.
Whoa. So, is Linny actually loaded?
Provavelmente não.
I can't say for sure, but who knows? Maybe there's good money to be made being a magician in Fontaine.
Ah, a gente não sabe ainda como é que é o
See
cenário
what you
daqui.
used to make stuff here? It looks really advanced.
Why use your hands when a machine can do the work? It would be a waste not to use the latest technology. And wasting is a kind of crime.
É.
Where does a big machine like that get its power from?
Well, it's a little complicated. I'm not sure I can put it in layman's terms for you. But basically, everything we usually use here in the city is powered by indemnitium. It's a type of energy that's produced from trials.
Huh? How can
Julgamento?
trials
Calma
produce
aí.
energy?
Calma aí, que agora eu fiquei confuso. Como assim?
Well, I'm not completely sure of all the details myself, but basically, when a trial is in session, the oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinale harvests
Oi?
people's
De
belief
quem?
in justice and converts it into energy to be used all around Fontaine.
So that's what its other function is? Paimon heard that the oratrice was created by the Archon to make judgments.
Ah, eu não sabia que ela gerava energia também, não.
Paimon still doesn't get it. How could something unreliable like people's beliefs be turned into a stable power source for these machines?
Ah. Poder vem da crença.
So that
Por isso que eles
means
são
the
deuses.
Hydro
Ué.
Archon relies on the machine to take the energy created by belief and turn it into power for all of Fontaine, right?
Even though I've never heard anyone really put it that way before, it sounds like it makes sense. Besides indemnitium, we have another type of energy called pneumosia.
Eu realmente não vou conseguir pronunciar nenhum nome
But it is
dessa
unstable by
região.
nature. Even now, it still cannot be widely used by civilians.
I thought I'd find you hard at work, but here you are chatting the day away. Since you're already talking, I'm sure you wouldn't mind a few words with me.
You again? Didn't I already promise you that I'd have the more I owe to Confrérie of Cabriere by next month? Why are you hounding me now?
Yeah, but how do we know that you won't go running off by the end of this month? I want 50% today. Wait, no, 70%.
Caraca.
You...
Seems business isn't so great for the workshop. We've already finished our job and delivered the materials. Maybe now's a good time to leave?
Ah, tá devendo.
Hey,
Não tem o que
hold
fazer.
on. Before you go around trying
Meu
to
homem.
collect, why don't you settle your own debts first? If Confrérie of Cabriere wants to poach clients from Northland Bank, that's fine. But I'm afraid you still owe the bank a hefty sum of mora. So why don't we work things out between us first, before you get back to your little conversation here?
Chegou meu homem.
You're from Northland Bank. But we said we'll pay everything we owe next month. Why are you hounding me now?
Ué. Não, calma aí. 70%?
Traveler, Paimon! I didn't think I'd run into you here in Fontaine. What are the chances?
We're surprised to see you too. What are you doing here in Fontaine? You didn't want to stay in Snezhnaya?
Lugar curioso.
Long story short, I've already been in Fontaine for some time now, and honestly, things have been pretty boring. But it seems that fate brought our paths together today. Not only will I have some good friends here now, but ones who always seem to find trouble.
Olha bem quem
Either way
fala.
you look at it, it seems things are going to get a lot more interesting now.
Pretty sure we'd want to avoid anything that you'd find interesting. Besides, our trip here has gone pretty well so far, right, Traveler?
Ah, não importa com encrenca às vezes.
Hey, you, Northland Bank boy. Aren't you forgetting something?
Quebra ele,
Don't
Tartaglia.
interrupt.
Faz a boa.
It's not often I run into the Traveler like this. Why don't you wait for me over there for a while?
Isso aí, bate
You
neles.
kidding? Aren't you the one looking for us? You really expect us to sit and twiddle our thumbs while you catch up with your friends?
Bate neles,
Listen
bate
to
neles,
me,
bate neles.
boy. If you want your Mora, fine. Why don't you come and take it?
Hey, I just said not to interrupt. Oh, by the way, Traveler, the last time I took Tonya and Tusser ice fishing, Tusser said,
Hey! Hey, that's
Ah, ele tá
way
falando da
over the
família
line.
dele, não se
All right,
mete,
boys,
irmão.
let's see who has to pay up now.
Can you at least let me finish one sentence? Fine. Though the bank told me not to get rough with our clients,
Bate neles,
you're
bate
the
neles,
ones who
bate neles,
started
bate
it.
neles.
This is an act of self-defense. You two will have to be my witnesses, okay?
Porrada neles. Porrada neles.
I'm sure this won't take long.
Não, não vai dar nem graça, mano. O cara é um mensageiro fatui, você acha que ele vai se estressar com isso aí?
Tidal wave. No time to lose.
Opa, calma aí que eu sou...
Shouldn't let your guard down.
Caramba! Deixa eu copiar a build.
Thằng hai vụ á là thằng mất dạy đó. Nó chuyên môn là chữ.
Isso aí é muito poder pra mim. Ai, ai. Para com isso aí. Para com isso aí. Palerma.
What's your deal, Brad? How are you so strong if you're just a staffer from Snezhnaya's Northland Bank?
Ele não é só empregado, esse que é o ponto.
Tell me you're...
Oh, now you notice. It's a little late, don't you think? Just make sure you understand that you don't mess with Northland Bank. Got it?
Bate neles, bate neles, bate neles.
Huh?
Ué? A visão dele desligou?
Now's my chance.
Toma. Você acha que só com a visão ele lida contigo, fi? A visão dele desligou, mano.
I'm not sure. It's as if I suddenly lost control of my hydropowers when I needed them. Maybe there's
Rapaziadinha
something
correndo
wrong
ali no
with my
fundo.
vision?
Mano, eu nunca vi isso da visão falhar, mano.
How could that happen? First time Paimon's ever heard of someone losing control of their vision.
Não, nunca vi isso também.
Never mind. It doesn't matter. If I want to stay sharp, I shouldn't be relying too much on my vision anyway. Besides, I always have my delusion in case I need it.
Não usa muito não, filho.
Doing in Fontaine, child. I don't see its work for Northland Bank.
A gente te conhece já, você é de
I
casa.
guess it's because I've been in a bad mood lately.
What kind of reason is that? Wait, since when do you feel down about anything?
Não, às vezes ele tá entediado, pô, deixa
I don't
ele.
know. Maybe I still have a lot to learn about myself. But recently, there seems to be some sort of restless power stirring inside of me. And I don't know why, but every now and then I feel like I'm in a terrible mood.
Maybe you losing control of your vision just now is connected with that power you're feeling inside.
Possível.
That is a possibility.
Tem alguma ideia?
I can't remember if I ever mentioned it before, but when I was 14, I fell into some unknown abyss. It was during that time I learned nearly all of my abilities. The one who took me under her wing and taught me was named Skirk.
Skirk.
She was always quiet and very mysterious. Nobody knew where she came from or what she had been through, and she was always very strict when teaching me combat techniques. One time, I asked her why she was willing to take me on as an apprentice. From what I could make of her answer, it was because I had awakened it, and traces of it remained on me. She said that all my combat training would be useful in the future.
Então tem alguma coisa dele que a gente ainda não tem certeza.
What did you awaken?
She never explained that, but my guess is that it's related to a dream I saw when I had just fallen into that abyss. In my dream, I was in the deepest depths of the sea, and the boundless seabed was all around me. But in front of me appeared a whale that was so massive, I felt like I couldn't breathe.
A whale? Oh, that sounds familiar! When we fought against you before, you summoned a huge whale that seemed to leap at us. Is that the one?
É, você me jogou uma baleia já, então eu já entendo como é que é.
That's just an abstract form of a whale that I create using my elemental powers. It takes that shape because the scene I dreamt of the whale has always been stuck in my mind. I'll never forget it.
So you used the whale as inspiration for one of your moves? Huh. Seems a little twisted to Paimon.
É, com certeza ele tá conectado com o abismo. Coincidente que ele teve num abismo,
Maybe
né?
she knows the answer.
Ela já
You make
morreu,
it
né?
sound so easy. Ever since the incident I experienced there, I've never stopped searching for Master Skirk and that unknown abyss. But it's been years now, and I've still found nothing. There isn't even a trace of the place where I remember falling into the abyss.
Será que foi sonho, então? Ou uma ilusão?
Like some kind of ghost story.
Yeah, I'm out of leads at this point, but there's nothing more I can do. It seems that strange encounters in this world tend to be elusive like that. Oh, seems the time really flies when I'm talking with you. I just remembered I have somewhere else I need to be, so I should get going.
What? More work for the Northland Bank?
No, it's more of a personal appointment. Lately, I've been sparring with some of Fontaine's official champion duelists whenever I'm feeling bored.
Ele só quer trocar porrada só, esse é meu garoto.
You mean it's their job to duel?
Yep, in Fontaine, before a criminal goes to court, they're given one chance to defend their honor by requesting a duel with an official champion duelist. The champion duelists are all-powerful fighters selected from among the nation's best. And the duel itself is a no-holds-barred fight with no specified stopping point.
Ah, então é só literalmente trocar porrada
So
e reza.
engaging in such a duel is regarded as a symbol of defending your honor. If a criminal manages to win the duel, they'll be acquitted. But if they lose, they'll have no choice but to stand trial. And the worst-case scenario is that you're simply killed in the duel. Though it's rumored that Fontaine has a death penalty, from what I can tell, no one has ever been officially sentenced to death.
Ainda bem,
So
né? Pelo menos
really,
por
the
enquanto.
only people who opt to duel are those who have suffered a grave injustice in being accused, or those who greatly value their honor. Otherwise, why gamble with your life?
So, do many people actually get out of their trials by winning the duel?
Não.
Apparently, it's exceedingly rare for anyone to
Imaginei.
actually win. Fontaine probably enacted this system as a way to show that the nation respects the honor of its citizens. Besides, none of the champion duelists are to be trifled with, which is exactly why I was itching to face them as soon as I got to Fontaine. Apparently, the one I'm meeting today, Clorend, is the strongest of the champion duelists. I had been asking her for some time before she finally agreed to face me today.
Well, that's child for ya. Paimon feels like we heard that name somewhere before. Clorand.
É a moça que interrompeu nossa discussão.
Before I forget, I want you to have this.
Ué?
Huh? Your vision? You're seriously just giving it away?
Ué? Como assim?
I'm just worried that it could become uncontrollable again. I'd be pretty upset if it got in the way of my duel. So, I think I'll be better off without it for now.
Como assim, mano?
I just need you to hold on to it for a short while. I'll come retrieve it when I have some time later.
Paimon knows what you're up to. You just want an excuse to come talk to us again, don't you?
Eu aceito essa desculpa.
Whatever gave you that idea? I'll be in touch later.
That sneaky guy. He said he's been feeling down lately, but he seemed the same as ever to Paimon. Well, since we don't have much to do for now, we might as well walk around and see the city before Lenny's performance.
Pelo menos não igual os busão. É mais tranquilo, pelo menos. Oi. Imediatamente. Oh, valeu. Caramba, que lugar é bonito. Ele é bonito, hein?
I am Elfan.
Deixa eu tentar uma coisa.
The boat will be departing imminently. Please do not stick your head, hands, or other body
Ah,
parts
a gente
outside
tem
the
essa
boat.
oportunidade.
The aquabus operator is not responsible for any accidents or injuries resulting from doing so.
Oxe, esse cubo aí.
Please remember to buy the steambird, though I don't read it myself.
Tô curioso pra ver esses cubos aí.
Super Idol de Charon, domain to 10 by each worthy and one domain one. Ray I bilingual do it's ancient.
Please be careful when disembarking. It has been my honor to be your tour guide this trip. Thank you.
Valeu, tia. Tamo junto. Bem-vindo a Fontaine. Let's go. Finalmente. Demorou ainda pra essa conquista. Opa.
a certified hood classic.
Eles realmente colocaram TP pra caramba em Fontaine, hein, mano? Cara. Chegamos.
Whoa! Now this is fancy! The opera at Claire's. What a place to hold a performance! No wonder Linny and Lynette were looking forward to it. Huh. Looks like there's a lot of people standing around the fountain up ahead.
O pessoal tá
Oh,
conversando, pô.
Archon, please bless us with a bright and healthy child. We pray.
Ah, é tipo um poço dos
I don't
desejos.
know why you always feel the need to ask so much. I'll be happy as long as our child is healthy and lives a peaceful life.
É justo.
I guess if they're our kid, then there's no doubt they'll turn out smart.
Maybe this is one of the customs in Fontaine. There sure are a lot of couples here.
É, alguma coisa deles aí. Ué,
What's wrong?
Vasher?
Vache.
Ixi, mano, a gente sabe de algo aqui.
No, Paimon didn't say anything. Are you hearing things?
É, de alguém era a
Welcome
voz.
to the Fountain of Lucine. All the water flowing through Fontaine converges here. It's customary for newlyweds to come here and wish for children.
Ah, é costume então.
Lynette, you scared Paimon. When did you get here?
Lenny asked me to wait here for you, remember?
Justo.
Right.
Eu totalmente lembrava disso.
What do you mean? There are a lot of people here right now.
Se tivesse vindo da fonte.
Hey, you're not trying to scare Paimon, are you? Besides, it's the middle of the day. It's not the time for eerie things.
I see. I might be able to tell you something that could help explain the voice you heard.
Ela sabe de alguma coisa, então.
You might not be imagining things at all. I suspect that what you heard is a result of your hypersensitivity to the hydro element. Others in my family have had similar experiences.
Então é meio que normal
Because
isso?
of his sensitivity to the hydro element? But what would hearing a voice have to do with elemental power?
When do you cry, Paimon?
Wait, what? What does that have to do with anything?
Responde a pergunta.
Just answer me. When do you cry?
When Paimon's really sad? Oh, and when Paimon's super happy. Oh, and also when Paimon's really, really scared.
Then you should understand that tears contain your most intense emotions. Like I just mentioned, the Fountain of Lucine is where all the flowing water in Fontaine converges. Even the tears that fall to the ground will eventually gather here. So maybe what you heard was the intense emotion coming from someone's tears.
Interessante, mas eu não sei.
Huh.
Chamando
Hearing
Vasher.
their emotions, then Paimon wonders what happened to them.
Rather than worrying
Ah, esse
about
ponto
them,
já passou,
you
né?
should worry about my brother first. Don't
O que
let that
aconteceu com
calm
ele?
look of his fool you. He tends to get pretty nervous just before a performance. So chatting with Linny might help him relax a little before he goes on stage.
Oh, right. That makes
Ah, vamos dar um papo lá com ele então.
Let's go in and see Linny.
Ah, Traveler and Paimon, good to see you. I knew you two would come.
Isso aí tá em casa.
We wouldn't miss it for the world. We've been looking forward to it.
I can tell, judging by how early you've arrived. But you're actually right on time. The audience still hasn't started entering the venue yet, which means now is the perfect chance for us to take you to the best seats in the house. Wait just a
Caraca,
moment.
esse é o
I'll fetch
privilégio,
the
né?
tickets. The Opera House has assigned seating, so you always have to make reservations. I've already reserved your seats, and here are your tickets.
É um homem de verdade isso aí, né?
Ooh, front row seats. Thanks, Linny.
Don't mention it. There's no need to keep thanking me.
Não bate de frente com o meu homem, mas é um homem ainda.
Hey, Lenny, could you come over here and take a look at this?
Oh, I'll be right there. Seems there's an issue with the stage props over there. That's Cal, my assistant, calling me. I'll go lend him a hand.
Fica à vontade,
Yeah,
filho.
we'll just go to our seats. You go ahead, Lenny.
Sinta-se em casa, meu mano. Aqui é de todo mundo. Ah, eu sei que a gente vai pro local. Só quero ver se tem alguma coisa pra eu roubar. Imagino que não, né? Ah, rapaz do céu, o lugar é bonito pra caramba. Ah, já tem alguém sentado ali. Ah, é aquele juiz lá, não é? Ele já tá ali esperando já a apresentação.
Oh, these should be our seats. Come on, let's sit down.
Ah, você não vai sentar não? Você vai ficar voando? Silêncio constrangedor. Silêncio constrangedor.
Traveler, maybe we should strike up a conversation with the person next to us. Since we're sitting together and the rest of the place is practically empty still. It's kinda awkward if we don't say anything.
É, eu vou deixar isso com você.
Of course you put this on Paimon.
É você que
Excuse
conversa.
me, I did not realize you felt awkward. I am terribly sorry.
Não, que isso,
I
pô.
would be perfectly happy to chat with you if that is what you would like.
Perfeito, não. Perfeito. Resolvido então.
So you heard all of that, did ya? Boy, you sure have good ears. Paimon thought she was keeping her voice down.
É, o cara é
Wait,
bom.
that's not it. Paimon's sorry. Paimon's the one who was being rude, talking under her breath like that. So let's talk. But what should we talk about?
Por que minha mão tá meio estranha aqui? Tá ficando pior.
Oh, Paimon's got it. You're also here early and sitting in the front. Are you a friend of Linny's too?
Não sei se parece que...
Friend, you say? Well, if Mr. Linney would like to be my friend, I would be more than happy to reciprocate.
Esse cara é muito suspeito. Não tô indo com a cara dele, não.
Oh, so you're not friends with Linny then? Oh, this is getting more awkward by the second. Paimon nearly forgot to make her introduction.
Eu tô simplesmente desconfortável sentadinho ali no canto. Inclusive eu vi agora que o meu OBS por algum motivo parou de gravar. Por algum motivo ele desistiu. Infelizmente meu OBS ele tá meio maluco esses dias, então ele tá cortando algumas coisas. Mas no geral aí a gente pegou... A gente só viu o final da cutscene, né? Uma moça foi desaparecida. O Cal que a gente viu anteriormente ele foi de base. Ele morreu naquela caixa que tá aqui atrás. E o Lini e a Lynette eles estão sendo acusados de terem feito alguma coisa contra, né? Terem sequestrado a moça e terem matado o Cal. E a gente tá basicamente responsável por ser a defesa deles e provar que eles não mataram ninguém por enquanto. Então basicamente a gente tem o nosso livro, acho que ele tá até por aqui. Inclusive a gente tem aqui os 3 itens. A Paimon não vai calar a boca, mas beleza. É, a relatório de investigação deles, a corda, que foi a que pegou fogo e rompeu ali, derrubou o pote em cima do cara, o seletor de números. A corda, o vaso e a roupa da moça. E aqui a gente tem várias conversas. Ainda tem uma que a gente não viu. E do túnel ainda tem 2 aqui que a gente não encontrou. Então a gente pode dar uma olhada e ver se a gente encontra alguma outra coisa. Mas eu acho que não sei se a gente vai conseguir. Tá, uma câmara secreta.
We can assume that Linny and Lynette were not alone within it. Some criminal also occupied its sealed confines. The magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course, but they lack any logical motive.
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was watching?
A gente tem a moça.
The vase and the thud we heard during the performance could indicate some altercation between Halsey and the criminal in the tunnel. resulting in the shattering of the vase, the discarding of her clothes, and her abduction. Perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify if she was still wearing the same clothes.
Possível.
Paimon thinks that makes sense, but the real trouble is...
A gente não consegue garantir que tem esse a mais, né?
None of the clues we found thus far support the existence of this third person. But the only people left to consider are both technically victims, whether it's the missing girl, Halsey, or poor Cowell.
Huh. Could Halsey have secretly made modifications to the magic props in order to murder Cowell before making her escape?
Ah, então devia ser alguém de dentro,
That's
não?
right.
Esse que é o
And even
ponto.
if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand the entire trick to pull it off. Nor does she have any motive. The guard said that she has never had any dealings with the Magic Troop's members.
Were we not thorough enough in our search?
Acho que eles que foram muito bons pra encobertar tudo.
Turning into an impossible case. Your macarons are amazing though, Navia. They smell great! They're nice and crisp and super sweet.
They are my specialty after all. And I see you've already had 5 of them.
What? 5? Oh, that can't be right. Paimon only counted 3, honest.
Eles foram comer
Please don't
também.
worry about it. At my age, a few less sweets might actually be a good thing.
No. Being greedy is one thing, but Paimon knows how to count. Besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough.
Se você comeu, você comeu. Fica tranquilo.
Even you don't believe Paimon? How could you? If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then may they turn into stone in her stomach!
All right, we get it. Well, I suppose one of us might have gotten too engrossed in our chat and eaten them by mistake. No big deal.
É, só que eles têm que sumir exatamente 2.
Set up the stove again, if you would.
Huh? What are you doing?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
Ah, não. Fica de boa.
Exactly. We don't want to trouble you.
As you wish, demoiselle.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almonds.
O Silver realmente só tem uma fala, coitadinho.
Well, that's it for snack time. I'm going to have another look around the area. I don't know what we're looking for yet, but we've still got some time. As attorneys, I suggest the 2 of you think the case over again. It would be awkward if you got all tongue-tied on stage during the trial.
All right. Thanks for your help and for the snacks.
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Malus, it's time to go. I'll be back if I find anything new.
Tá bom. Ah, tem uma terceira pessoa, mas a gente não tem como provar que tem uma terceira pessoa. Esse que é o ponto.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation go?
Muito mal pra você.
You might be disappointed.
No. We're already very grateful that you were willing to help.
Well, now, don't you all look disappointed. Don't tell
Oh, foi mal.
me that your investigation came up empty-handed. That was to be expected, of course. The guilty can never produce proof of their innocence. But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed should you, my most anticipated foe, concede so easily.
Me aguarde.
Since both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session. Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have Mr. Linney explain the trick?
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the necessary items have been prepared.
Triste que ele vai ter que spoiler todo o rolê, né? Mas.
Thank you, Mr. Linney. In that case, I take your statement to be that you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began, and thus could not have committed the crime. Is this correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Farina, do you wish to refute his statement in any way?
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying.
Como assim,
There
claramente? Se
is no
explica.
way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel at all.
Provas?
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were inside your box?
Pessoal contando.
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that might leave an impression of any kind?
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I believe practically everyone heard it.
Mas isso não significa nada.
Huh?
Hey, hang on. Something's not right here.
Agora que eu tô curioso, como é que ele não escutou?
From inside the box.
I was right by the box and I definitely heard the thud.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
É o que ela tá se posicionando.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. Indeed, it seems his alibi can also collapse in the blink of an eye. Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid.
Eu não consigo falar em nada? Eu não consigo abrir a boca?
Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
Casa da lareira?
The House of the Hearth?
Fatui?
No wonder they did something like this.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatui's doing. Now it all makes sense.
Oh, e aí?
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an accident.
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Mas eles são Fatui, no fim das contas?
Then perhaps you could tell us everything that happened during that 1 minute. Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. Unless your script already has holes in it. The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting and discord, I suppose. This was almost too easy.
Ela é muito folgada.
Good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
Hey, Linny, why didn't you tell us this before?
Não, mas isso não interessa.
Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to re-establish the facts. Lady Farina has raised 2 points. First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth. Are these claims true?
Pode muito bem ter sido montado antes, mas não muda nada ele ser Fatui. Tem esse ponto também. Eu tinha esquecido que o Tartaglia tava dando um rolezinho aqui.
Please answer my question, Mr. Linney.
I'm sorry. Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
Vixe.
I knew it.
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
What should we do now?
Ah, agora é minha hora. Minha defesa não pode continuar. Não, ele omitiu informações
In that
importantes.
case, what is your request?
Is that really necessary? They're already as good as guilty.
Deixa a gente
The
pensar.
defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Order! Order! Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn. This trial will reconvene in 1 hour.
God,
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even after knowing what you do now? You certainly have more professionalism than I thought.
Me aguarde,
In
eu
that
falei.
case, my dear audience, let's allow the joy of victory to steep for a little while longer.
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydroarchon would dig all that up.
Não, agora você vai ter que falar, filho.
I'm sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
Yeah, sorry. Paimon doesn't know where to start. We trusted you two. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys. Not to set the wrong tone or anything, but Paimon's really mad.
Não, vamos deixar eles falarem, vamos deixar eles falarem.
I know you're angry, and reasonably so, but please, let me explain. I know you've clashed with the Vitui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to make you upset. But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face. I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends. That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details instead. The truth
Mas
is
agora é hora
very
de você botar as cartas na
important,
mesa,
but being
mano.
completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to.
Como é que a gente sabe?
Right. So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even struggle to trust me at this point. You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. All by coincidence, too. But still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no criminal. At least, not in this case.
Sorry. Please forgive us.
Well, you both say that, but...
Então onde você tava?
Right. Let's hear your answer first, and no lies now.
Of course. I'll answer any question you ask. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately?
Então você foi
During our
fuçar nela.
investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it. From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick, with the objective of getting close to the core.
Então tinha outro assunto interno ali.
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room in which the core is stored.
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
Nossa, então eles já tinham isso planejado faz muito tempo.
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, I heard someone's voice. Which should have been impossible, of course. I was quite certain that I was the only one in the room. That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way I came. On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it any thought.
Mas aí onde que eles
After
foram
that,
parar? Esse que é o
the
ponto.
homicide occurred just as you saw.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
O que isso te
Because of
leva
that
a
prophecy
entender?
I told you about, of course, we must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with that prophesized crisis.
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. I swear, I didn't hide anything from you this time. It was never my wish to proceed under this cloud of mistrust either. But like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust the Fatui, there's nothing I can do to stop you.
Você acha que eu vou fazer isso com o meu homem aqui?
You decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
Ah. Eu vou te defender, pai. Eu tô contigo.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly against you two. If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a seriously watertight defense.
A gente já tem as evidências-chave? Eu não tava sabendo disso, não. Vamos voltar.
Oh, Paimon thinks she gets what you mean.
Por isso ele não ouviu barulho, tá. Uma voz misteriosa vindo da câmara que contém o núcleo da Arachna.
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial. When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the events.
That took long enough. Now then, if everyone would lend me their attention, at this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linney's perspective.
Qual vai ser o papo? Baseado nos relatos das testemunhas, você pode encontrar partes das suas declarações que não têm fundamento. Use as evidências e pistas obtidas durante a investigação para refutar quaisquer séries de eventos que não fazem sentido e substitua com as suas inferências. Use suas refutações para convencer o público e obter mais apoio. Para você encontrar e refutar todos os conteúdos, você poderá completar o ciclo da refutação e revelar a verdade. Vixe, rapaz, calma aí que o bagulho vai ficar pesado agora.
The countdown began. He entered the tunnel.
Tá.
When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud. He did not realize that the sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why he claimed earlier that he could not hear the sound. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out, before making her change clothes to prevent others from recognizing her. At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise, and caught Linney red-handed. So Linney proceeded to knock him out too before stuffing him into that box. Afterward, Linney passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stands, before operating the devices such that Cowell's death would be ruled an accident.
Tá, a gente tem que refutar tudo isso aqui então.
And there you have it. That's the truth behind what happened.
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina's description of the events?
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events, what Linney experienced and what he saw.
A chave para refutar ela está na ordem dos eventos, o que Linney experienciou e o que ele viu. Tá, então a gente começa do começo. Linney entrou no túnel após a contagem regressiva. Tá, então ele entrou no túnel. Quando ele entrou no túnel, ele foi para a Oratrice.
According to Linney, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. He couldn't have had that altercation with Halsey.
Exatamente. Depois que ele foi, ele ouviu um som, uma voz do núcleo da Arachna.
Linney went to the room that
Beleza. Depois dele entrar na Arachna, teve esse som. Não. Aí ficou confuso quando viu que tinha as roupas no chão. Mas eu não terminei. Ah, tudo bem.
When the countdown started, Linney did indeed go into the tunnel. But he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is stored. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. Since he felt something was amiss, he returned immediately. The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again, and in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Therefore, he's innocent.
Mas quem disse que alguém vai acreditar? Esse que é o ponto. Refutado com sucesso. Tá bom. Conseguimos bater de frente.
Paimon did it! Paimon actually managed to say all that! Oh, wasn't it awesome?
Foi.
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing of the incident?
Sim.
That's right!
Acredito que o raciocínio da minha posição é falho. Nossa, já cuspiu na cara mesmo. O equipamento do palco foi modificado de maneira premeditada.
That's the case. Then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill?
É.
Assuming that what you say is true, Linny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing someone on stage be?
É um bom ponto, é um bom ponto.
That's right, you tell him! And that's why they're partners of mine. They've managed to turn things around.
Oh, well, your denial is very strident, I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claims?
Você lembra como refutou a álibi do Lini?
Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he have not heard that sound? Why do you ask? You're saying that he wasn't?
Sua alegação agora se tornou minha arma, filha. Tá, isso aqui tudo é irrelevante. Ele não saiu em momento nenhum.
Are you sure we don't need to give this more
Sério? Ah, pode ser isso aqui também?
Are you sure we don't need to give this
Ah,
more
cara, as pistas estão tudo confusas, eu não tô entendendo mais nada. Teve o estrondo.
That's right! Linny wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything strange during the performance.
Faz sentido.
This means that when the crime happened, Linny had already entered the basement via the vent. The same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best proof! How do you like that?
Well played. To think you'd use such logic.
E agora? Cadê seu Deus agora?
Then, if it wasn't Linny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
Esse é o lado da acusação de falar. Esse que é o ponto. Selecione o ícone de engrenagens na interface para checar as dúvidas correspondentes ao caso. Selecione as respostas e preencha todas as engrenagens vazias para verificar a corretude. Tá. Então, de acordo com as descobertas de investigação, os fogos de artifício que foram disparados incendiaram a corda e caiu o bagulho. Tá. Se ele não é mais um suspeito, outros membros da equipe podiam ter mexido nos adereços. Lini deu um relato detalhado como o truque devia funcionar. Tá. Tem trocado suas roupas, Linette e seu assistente tomariam a responsabilidade pelas interações no palco. O casaco pertencente a House foi encontrado no túnel. A razão para isso ainda é desconhecida.
The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment. Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. Or did she have her own scheme all along? Could there have been a third person involved? Is that really a possibility?
Tá, pensando aqui, se a gente for usar o QI, momento cérebro gigante aqui. O Cowell não poderia ter mexido, porque ele não ia se matar. Não faz sentido. Pode ou ter uma terceira pessoa envolvida, ou ela tem um esquema. Eu acho que não podia ser o esquema dela, porque a máquina já estava organizada para colocar um número certo na cadeira. Então eu acredito que tem uma terceira pessoa. Não, é um erro, tá. Então ela tinha o próprio plano dela. Eu não acredito que o Cowell ia fazer isso, porque ele não ia se matar, não faz sentido. O quê?
The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant.
Ele teria conseguido adulterar, mas por que ele ia fazer isso e se colocar na linha? Só se não foi ele, talvez? Se não foi ele que morreu?
That can't be right. Are you serious?
É isso que eu tô tentando pensar.
The killer was.
É o morto?
Is that so? How interesting! Let's hear your reasoning then.
É, eu quero
What I
entender
must do
também.
next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim.
Tá, o que devo fazer é seguir para recriar a verdade. O que Cowell fez e como ele foi executor. Tá, como a gente pode supor?
No one entered or left the opera house through its entrances. So where would the criminal have wanted? Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment.
É, o Linny não tava no túnel.
The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the... It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped into Linny as well.
É, eles não iam ter conseguido bater em retirada.
No one entered or left the opera house through its entrance.
É, ninguém fugiu.
The deceased's name is Cowell. The sound we heard may have come from a clap.
Isso aqui? Não, tá, o primeiro tá certo que foi o Linny.
No one entered or
É, ninguém saiu ou entrou.
The sound we heard may have...
Houve o som.
Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. So there must
Então,
have
com medo dela chamar atenção. Não, não foi nessa ordem. Tá, só tem esses três.
The deceased's name is...
Então talvez tenha sido ele.
Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. It would have been tough for both people.
Ia ser difícil de encaixar os dois.
No one entered or left.
E ninguém entrou e saiu. Não, também.
The sound we heard may have come from a... Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. The deceased's name is...
Tá, houve o barulho.
The deceased's name is...
Tem o Cowell.
It
E
would have been tough for both...
não tem como se encaixar. Deve ter entendido o truque por trás da mágica de Linny e devia estar em posição para modificar facilmente o equipamento. Deixando de lado como ele morreu, o Cowell tinha todos os meios para cometer o crime ao dispor dele. O adversário poderia provavelmente ter sido o som de Cowell e Halsey brigando. Linny não estava no turno por um minuto. Isso teria dado tempo para Cowell trazer Halsey para fora da caixa mágica da plateia. Mas ninguém entrou ou saiu, então mesmo que tivesse levado, não ia ter meio de sair. Sair da caixa teria sido em plena vista da plateia, garantindo que eles seriam descobertos.
Now then, my good, noble Chief Justice, should we not, in your view, move...
Excuse me, everyone, but I must interject.
Opa!
Miss, I must ask you not to shout and to respect the ongoing legal proceedings.
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate and see a little magic? I'll show you an
O
amazing
que ela tá
trick.
aprontando,
One that
hein?
can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your very eyes. Please, do the honors, Mr. Linny. If
What in the world is she saying?
É, eu não tô
No
entendendo também
offense,
não.
miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope as a magician.
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting a fascinating illusion. But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them once again? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's performance? Come on, Lenny and Lynette, give it another go. Don't worry. Spina di Rasula has made the necessary arrangements on your behalf.
Nossa, mas virou bagunça
But,
esse
as the magic
julgamento?
makers and stars of the show, I think I should leave the final performance to you.
I understand.
And voila.
Quê?
Sorry for the interruption.
Wait,
Isn't that Halsey? So the whole thing about people dissolving wasn't true after all?
Calma aí, que agora eu tô confuso.
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me, and then before I knew it, she caught me.
Calma, alguma coisa
That'll teach you to
aconteceu?
underestimate us three.
O que
Where
aconteceu?
should I begin? I'm sorry. I'm the one who killed Cowell. I admit it.
Agora eu tô muito confuso.
Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt. I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there, and I'd never been caught before. But I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away. Linny was the one who caught me in the act.
Ah, foi a ladra.
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. So you were the thief. Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was on to me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee, but then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Can a person even hide in there?
Ah, ela é uma ladra.
But I swear,
Você tem
I
que lembrar
didn't know
disso.
that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear it. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief, but I'm no killer.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
Ah, agora a gente
This
refuta
time,
o
we need to
pensamento
tell the
dela.
entire story from Lillian's perspective.
Tá. Agora é o outro lado da história que a gente tem que ver. Tá, beleza. Nisso, a house não dissolveu. Ah, houve um estrondo forte.
The strange sound wasn't from a fight. It was Lillian's attempt to break out when she was frightened.
Certo. E em vez de uma luta, não é possível que ela tenha sido quebrada pelo carrinho de carga.
The flower vase was not broken to cover anything up.
Tá
It
entre
was
Liliane e o Cal. Depois disso, ela trocou de roupa.
Lillian was afraid that
E aí teve a queda.
And it's Ace Detective Paimon time! Having been selected out of the blue, Lillian panicked. Her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open, producing the thud we all heard. Hearing the commotion, Cowell leapt into the tunnel, only to discover that Lillian had not dissolved. He did not know that Lillian was not from Fontaine.
Então ela não ia dissolver.
Who made her way in by stealing a ticket. Mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time to take effect, he tried to force Lillian back into the box. The two broke the flower vase during the struggle, but Lillian came out on top, knocking Cowell out and putting him in the box. With no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid in the costume trunk until the performance ended.
Balanceamos de novo. Isso aqui tá complicado de manter do nosso lado.
She knew that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So, she has been trapped in the opera house these last 2 days.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, She swiped 2 of them right under our noses. Talk about a sneaky thief.
Por isso que sumiram 2 na nossa conversa.
At this point, all the events that happened in the tunnel have now come to light.
Ah, so that's the whole story.
Bravo! Bravo!
Por que vocês estão aplaudindo, mano?
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak against the defense's statements? Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
Não, calma aí, filha, não é assim.
What? Are you reading my mind now? No, I have no further arguments. I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
Amassada, péssima.
Look at that! She's like a deflated balloon now.
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events. The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid.
Mas a troco de quê? Isso eu ainda não entendi. A troco de quê que ele ia fazer
gap
isso?
in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box, and thus became his own final victim. Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus ignorant of these happenings. From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Linny, the accused, is in fact innocent.
Let's go, meu garoto. Sempre confiei.
While there is much in Linny and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated separately, this case at least can be handed over to the oratories to make the final decision. As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared not guilty.
Olha. Sempre confiei no meu garoto, sempre confiei.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
A gente não vai comemorar ainda.
I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Linny's baggage?
Tem esse ponto.
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know. Or was that not a discovery, but false evidence that you dared to bring before this court?
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny, but you, yes?
Assim, do nada?
I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
I was just following orders. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
Quem são os
Now
superiores?
that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a liability to said higher-ups, yes? Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know, and seek the protection of the guards.
Yes, I'll tell you everything I know. Our boss discovered that the water can cause people to dissolve.
Certo.
It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration. We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent mora off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea. I mean, this is the boss we're talking about.
Ih, ele foi dissolvido? Virou água.
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness. I shouldn't have expected any less of them.
Já tem plot perigoso aqui.
All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
Ninguém encontrou nada. O cara foi evaporado e acabou.
So, we're just going back now?
Ninguém precisa da gente aqui mais.
True, but...
Traveler, Paimon! Please wait.
Lenny...
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me. But still, let me thank you again for defending me to the end, even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatui.
Pelo menos a gente tá aqui agora.
But regardless, I'd like the opportunity to set things straight. I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself, just plain Linny this entire time. As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That's all. That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then too.
Como a serva.
The Knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth? She's your father?
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering, would you mind hearing a story? It's about my past. Back when our parents first died, Lynette and I were left wandering the streets. To survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. It took me several days to figure out how he pulled off his amazing tricks. I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform magic tricks there. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. But I didn't want my sister to remain a street rat together with me forever. Before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to take us in after watching my performances.
So you went from orphans to nobility just like that?
That was how we felt at first too. As if fate was on our side and we could say goodbye to those painful days.
Não ia ser tão fácil assim, né?
But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent for magic tricks. He would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention, which he would then use to expand his social circles.
That doesn't seem too bad either. Better than roaming the streets at any rate.
It took a while for me to realize just how dark his heart really was. After one particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that Lynette was not on the same return vehicle as me. I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. I went to that noble's bedroom and asked him about her whereabouts. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless of who your assistant is, yes?
Caraca, ele enviou, ele só mandou a irmã embora.
Oh no. So he was gonna... But wouldn't Fontaine's laws deal with such people?
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care, and they have their ways of escaping the eye of the law. I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that
isso?
so-called eminent person and hurried through the night. But by the time I leaped over the walls, avoided the guards, and made my way in, all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood, and the knave standing there in the darkness.
So, she'd already taken care of that guy.
That's right.
Então por
She
isso
had
que eles
rescued my
ficaram com
sister
ela.
before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls hidden in a basement, all of them orphans. Father, I mean, the knave, might have seen something in me, and so she made me an offer. The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. Indeed, betrayal shall never be permitted here. I was hesitant to trust her. I mean, I had just been betrayed by nobles. But she was
Então
also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first, giving us back our freedom.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
tá tudo no
She
passado.
has her own plans. She has gained permission from the Tsaritsa to first use the Gnosis' power once she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and save Fontaine.
Então é pra isso que ela tá
So,
aqui.
she believes in that prophecy too?
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that crisis. Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting the prophecy. All of us house members here, Lady Arlecchino herself included, are from Fontaine. We won't give up on defending our homeland.
Ah, minha esposa tá aqui, ó. Tá chegando, tá chegando. Então o plot todo é que mesmo a casa que praticamente uma fundação dos Fatui aqui, que é a Gnosis, não pra destruir alguma coisa como sempre, mas pra conseguir não deixar Fontaine dissolver praticamente
To
inteiro.
us orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart from our family, is our homeland.
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a Gnosis, everything is aimed at dealing with that prophecy.
Ainda não consigo confiar
It's all
completamente.
right. I understand. The only thing I can do is relate all this to you. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the House, I have never stopped making my own decisions, and that I believe what I'm doing is right. If you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me. I will do my best to help you, as plain Linny.
Entenda.
Bye, Linny!
Não, o Wither não tá nem um pouco feliz com isso. Nem um pouco feliz.
Hey there. What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us, Navia?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case, though. Don't you think so too?
Bom,
What's wrong, my dear partner?
eu não me importo com isso. Eu não tava investigando esse caso.
Are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's been cold for decades now? And given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a trail of breadcrumbs for the Hydro Archon's people to follow now, right?
Ah, I see. Well, I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that from you. But I suppose you are just travelers who have only arrived in Fontaine after all.
Isso aqui não é nada do nosso problema.
I might have been too presumptuous.
Don't say that, Navia.
Ah, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire, causing new hope to spring forth, and the reflection in the murk to become clearer. Sorry about that. I'm a bit prone to nostalgia. Don't mind me.
Não vou poder te ajudar,
Shall we have a
infelizmente.
farewell meal? You know, to commemorate our time as partners?
Huh? Do we really need to get that formal?
Well, I'd just like to have a proper ending to every important memory. That way there are no regrets later. Anyway,
Ah,
it
deixa ela
would
ser
just
feliz,
be a
pelo
meal,
menos.
so it shouldn't take up too much of your time.
Só se você diz.
You don't have to twist Paimon's arm. If Boss Navi is treating, count Paimon in.
Oh, wonderful. In that case, why don't we return to the court of Fontaine and head to the Hotel de Boer? I believe we'll make it just in time for dinner.
Beleza, eu fecho.
Have our farewell meal.
Caramba. Oferecer para a fonte. Ser luzido, né? É isso aí mesmo. Caramba. Então, senhores, eu não vou continuar a missão, infelizmente, né? Pra variar, eu tô ficando sem tempo. Então eu não vou conseguir fazer todo o capítulo 4 agora. Eu vou separando em atos, porque fica mais fácil, né, da gente ver. Eu vou, inclusive, também ver por que meu OBS deu aquele problema, pra gente não ter esse tipo de dor de cabeça de novo. Então, vamos ver se a gente consegue parar isso aí e ter um vídeo completo. Então é isso, eu gostei bastante de Fontaine, eu adorei o começo das missões de Arconte daqui. Sendo bem sincero, eu acredito que a gente vai ter uma história interessante. Eu já tenho uma teoria ou outra do que pode estar acontecendo aqui, mas vamos deixar mais pra frente que a gente fala sobre isso. Então, vejo vocês provavelmente na semana que vem em Star Rail de novo, quarta-feira. Vamos continuar seguindo aquela quest também. Então é isso. Vejo os senhores em breve. É nóis. Bebam água, se hidratem. Valeu.